Behind me is an iron farm I made a little while ago. But as you can see, it doesn't look all that great. It works functionally, but it doesn't really work aesthetically. Today, my friends, I intend on changing that. I'm going to surround this farm with a build. Another skyscraper. Not as tall as this corner one here, but something that'll be enough to make this look better. So welcome back, my friends, to the Let's Play. It is Python here, of course, and a massive thank you, as always, for all of your lovely support you guys have been showing this series. I really appreciate it. So in keeping with the color and block palette we've got going on with the corner skyscraper, we need to grab ourselves a bunch of prismarine related materials, and thankfully, I've still got a good amount left over at my island house here in the prismarine processing area. As you can see, still a full double chest of prismarine bricks and then a whole bunch of prismarine right there, and then a little bit in our overflow chest here as well. So let me make some spare shulker boxes with the final few shulker shells I have, and let's get these bad boys filled up. Do we have ourselves some more prismarine blocky type things down here? Yeah, we do. Okay, good, and a good amount of dark prismarine as well. Excellent. Right, what we don't have though is a great deal of sea lanterns. In fact, we don't have any at all, so we need to change that a little bit, I think. Barely a stack and a half of prismarine crystals? Ah, man. We're not going to be able to make many lanterns with that lot. 21? It's a start, I suppose. Since we're going to be working here at Seatropolis, I think it would be a good idea if we put... Okay, just fall off the edge of there. I think it would be a good idea if we light these soul campfires, thus putting our Guardian Farm into passive mode. Then as time goes on, we should build a steady supply of prismarine related resources. So for this build, I'm going to be doing something kind of interesting. I'm actually going to be winging this build. I have not pre-planned this in a creative test world. We are going to try and figure this out together as the build goes on. And hey, again, since we're around here, we are going to have this iron farm actually be working. Whereas while I've been working at the mansion, this place is just outside of visual range, and therefore this thing kind of stops. So then, without further ado, it is time to begin on this thing. And, yes, this is in the way. Ideally, we move this conduit to somewhere where it just isn't going to get in the way. So, yeah, several blocks away from the Seatropolis walls. I think I'll do the job. There we are. Conduit placed and activated. Nice. So the first thing I'm wondering is whether or not we could replace the glass blocks along the perimeter of this farm with glass panes instead. I reckon we could, you know. Alrighty, so here we are. I've replaced the glass blocks at the edge with the zombie with glass panes instead. As a result, we might be able to make this build look a little bit better than if we were to continue using the glass blocks. The next thing we're going to figure out is the sort of footprint of this iron farm. So this would be a corner if we look directly upwards. There we are, we're at the corner of the farm. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey! That's actually not too bad. I quite like those dimensions. So my thinking is maybe we go diagonally adjacent and then we start placing down what are going to be the support pillars for this eventual build. So yeah, we're gonna have to come out here, do a little bit of that and a little bit of that. And with the corner pillar placeholders placed down, all we need to do now is have these go all the way down to the ground underwater. There we are. The first pillar stretching all the way down to the ground, and the other underwater pillar stretching all the way down to the ground. Now here's something interesting. It turns out the support pillars for this build are going to go slightly further out than the corner skyscrapers. Do you know what? I actually don't mind that. A little bit of sort of depth to the walls here, or what's eventually going to form the walls. I think that would be quite good, actually. The next thing I want to figure out is exactly how tall this farm is. If I've counted correctly, this farm is 24 blocks tall. that's a pretty good number to work with, I would say, because 24, it's divisible by 8, and as a result, I might be able to figure out, like, different sections of walls going up quite easily. Like, for example, this area down here would be classed as a section. This one here would be a section, etc., etc. With all that said, though, we're going to want a little bit of space above the farm, aren't we? So, what was it, 24 blocks before? Maybe if we do 27, we can have 3 sections of 9 blocks tall. And let's not forget, we actually need to be able to enter this build, unlike the corner skyscrapers. So, yeah, we need to try and factor in some sort of doorway. And I'm thinking we had ourselves in a little bit of a dark prismarine stairs entrance porch kind of dealio, with maybe a couple of sea lanterns out front, and then a couple of prismarine walls to hold up the porch. So, the first section is going to be 9 blocks tall. So we've got 1 already, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In terms of the wall design, I think we go for something that's very similar to the corner guardian towers. We're going to have ourselves some little bits of sea lantern action in the corners, and then inside, we're going to have ourselves a combination of glass panes and prismarine walls. Question: this back bit of glass here, we should be able to simply get away with replacing these with the walls and panes, right? I mean, so long as the walls don't form like a platform for the iron golems to land upon, and therefore, you know, not go into the lava blade, I mean, that should be all fine, right? It's worth noting, by the way, that is only the first of many little things we're going to have to try and overcome for this build here. I think the biggest thing we're going to have to try and overcome is the fact that, you know, we don't want iron golems to be spawning anywhere other than where they are allowed to, which is in that little water stream up there. So we're going to have to be very, very clever in the way that we design this build so that we don't have a bunch of solid blocks or top half slabs where the iron golems could spawn upon. It's definitely going to be a challenge, but you know something? With challenges comes the immense satisfaction of completing challenges. I've just had an interesting idea pop into my head for a sort of decoration we could put in the walls here. We've got all manner of coloured glass panes available to us. What if we were to try and squeeze in a little iron golem face pixel art in this 5x4 wall area? Do we think that's even possible? I think this is going to be a struggle, my friends. But again, with challenges comes the satisfaction of completing those challenges. So we're going to start off with the iron golem's eyes. Although already I feel like I'm doing this a little bit too high up. Ooh, I don't know. Let's try some of these light grey panes next. And then somehow we need to try and factor in the nose. How are we going to do that without feeling like we have to, like, come out a block? I don't really know. Also, I think I'm doing this slightly wrong. Maybe I need to bring the eyes down a block so we can add in the iron golem's rather prominent unibrow. So let's try this again. Unibrow, then it's going to be the black of the iron golem's eye, then the red of the iron golem's eye, and then pretty much the rest of it is light grey. In between the eyes is light grey, and yeah, another layer there, and then it's going to be the grey stained glass for the nose. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to look any good, my friends. Yeah, that does not look like an iron golem, does it? But then again, like, you know, how much better can I do this thing with only a 4-block wide area? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure a pixel art is going to work in the windows here. In which case, we're just going to go old school and put down these regular glass panes. You can't say I didn't try, my friends. Right. Yeah, we may have an issue here, my friends. There is a little bit of a ledge where the glass panes are on top of the prismarine walls. Yeah. That could be an issue later down the line. It's possible we can do something up the top there to prevent the iron golems from being pushed too far off the edge of the water. Maybe we do have a few solid blocks up at the top there, but yeah, down here, there is the opportunity for the iron golems to land upon the ledge and not get killed by the lava blade. Alright, well, let's just keep going and let's see what happens, basically. Alrighty, first section done. We now need to try and figure out the second section. And rather similar to the corner skyscrapers, I'd very much like to see if I could have the sections get progressively narrower as we head towards the top of the build. Only, I don't know, I feel like that would work quite nicely. But then again, thinking about it, not all skyscrapers in real life have this sort of look to them, you know, where it starts off thick at the bottom and then becomes narrower as you get towards the top. Some of them just stay the same thickness all the way through. Maybe this one could have that going for it. We have a little bit of variation in the builds that way to make the build look a little bit more interesting and not like it has a big flat wall going all the way up. I suppose what we could do is something similar to this build over here, where we just have ourselves some stairs sort of pointing out. So the next section begins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks up for this section. Alrighty, a little bit of an intermission. According to my OBS recording software, I have been around here for about 40 minutes. How many drops have come from this Guardian Farm being in passive mode? Ooh, okay. Prismarine crystals is the thing I need more than anything else. So we've got, what, nearly 2 stacks of prismarine crystals? I'd say that's not too bad, actually. So we just need to grab out all these other prismarine shards. And there we are. Look at that. 24 more sea lanterns. Oh, snap. Trying to figure out this back wall. It's going to be an interesting one. So, sea lanterns in the corner, prismarine walls being added, and then basically we need to get rid of this entire glass slab in here, don't we? Okay, so it's thundering, and also I've not heard an iron golem die in quite some time. Okay. Sure, just fall off your own skyscraper there, Python. See, this is what I keep talking about. I need to Python-proof my builds, because that's just going to keep happening. Ah, jeez. Ah, yes. Okay, so, yeah, the Iron Golem has spawned on the temporary surface that has formed at the top of the second section there. Uh-huh. In which case, we're going to need to be quite quick in adding in the top and final section. I don't want iron golems to be spawning anywhere other than in the water flow way up top there. So actually thinking about it, you know what we were saying about us having these stairs sort of sticking out, making this look less like a flat slab of wall? Trying to do that in such a way where iron golems can't spawn upon them. That is going to be an interesting one to try and figure out, isn't it? I think I might have figured out a little bit of a way where we can still have this little sticky out decorational part of the walls here, while simultaneously not allowing the iron golems to spawn upon them. And it involves, first of all, getting up to the sticky out part, but then we are going to try and use a culmination of prismarine walls, trapdoors, and these dark prismarine slabs. This is going to be an interesting one. Maybe we start off with a bottom prismarine half slab, then we could have ourselves like a bottom warped trapdoor, and then, I don't know, sort of alternate it or something. Yeah, okay, so we're working with even numbers here, aren't we? So we've got something going on. I don't know just yet. Maybe what we could do is just use stairs and slabs instead. So we're going from this to this. What are we feeling about this now? I think the dark prismarine definitely works well. It adds a little bit more contrast to the build, doesn't it? What we're going to do is replicate this all along the other walls, and then, yeah, I think it'll look pretty good. Yep. I think this looks really quite good, actually. I'm really enjoying the little prismarine wall support underneath the dark prismarine there as well. I think that works really quite nicely. Hey, I like that we're working this stuff out together. That's so cool. I do have a concern, though. That Iron Golem seems to have free reign around the perimeter of the Iron Farm now, and oh my goodness. No. And as a result, it managed to kill the zombie in here, thus stopping the Iron Farm. But you know what? That might actually be a little bit of a blessing in disguise for now. I mean, getting more zombies to spawn around here, it's not that difficult. We just get rid of some torches and boom. We can get a zombie to spawn in. It also means that we can work on this top section a little bit more peacefully without Iron Golems getting in the way and spawning in locations where they really shouldn't be. With all that said, though, my good sir, you still should not have killed that zombie. Not really. You might have inadvertently done me a favor, but equally, screw you. Dude, I'm actually really happy with the progress we're making here. I'm even more chuffed with the fact that I didn't pre-plan this build in a creative test run like I normally do. Hey, my friends, I might actually still be capable of winging builds in Minecraft. How about that, huh? So, without further ado, shall we see about getting the top and final section added in? I think that'd be a marvelous idea. Let's do this thing. 9 further blocks. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, 7, 8, and 9. We need to make sure, of course, that there is enough headroom above this spawning area to where the Iron Golems will still spawn in. I believe they require 3 blocks of headroom in order to spawn in. And by the looks of it, we might wind up having 4 blocks of headroom. Wow, look at how fast we can place blocks with Swift Sneak. Oh man, that is so satisfying. How about this for a case of accidental perfect timing? These guys are all sleeping, which means they won't give me any hassle when it comes to me replacing these here glass blocks with panes and prismarine walls. Yeah. If you can't tell already, I'm actually really enjoying today's episode so far. Just sort of trying to wing a build, see if I still have what it takes. If this is the sort of episode that you guys like to watch as well, then of course, let me know by dropping a comment or by dropping a like rating. I'd very much appreciate it, folks. Alrighty, my friends, I am very, very happy to say that the third and final section has had its walls all added in. The villagers have just slept this whole time. You lazy sons of guns. No, I'm kidding. Enjoy the sleep while you can there, buds, because you are going to be having nightmares forevermore once I get a zombie back in that section over there. Check it out. Not a bad looking building right there, is it, my friends? All we need to do now is try to figure out the roof situation. Do we want to go for a nice pointy top, rather similar to the corner skyscrapers, or do we want to go for just sort of a flat, almost castle turret looking style roof? We also, I didn't even realize this, we need to try and factor in these daylight detectors when it comes to trying to figure out our roof situation. Ooh. It's possible that might be the biggest challenge of all, because we need these to have direct access to the sky so we can have these automatically flip the trapdoors that are underneath them, right? Whoa, it's challenge after challenge after challenge, my friend. First of all, though, I think it's time for some more dark prismarine slabs and stairs. If I'm being entirely honest, I think in this particular case, it might be easier to do just a flat roof. So let's grab ourselves some of these here prismarine brick slabs. We'll get ourselves up to the tippity top here, and we'll try and figure out a little bit of a floor situation. And then to surround it, maybe nice and simply, we just place down a combination of sea lanterns, prismarine walls, slabs, trapdoors, that kind of stuff. Just need a top up of prismarine crystals first. Yeah, very good. All right, that should be able to make the remaining sea lanterns we need for this build. Yeah! Not bad, huh? I think this works quite nicely, but then again, there's a part of me that feels like we probably could get away with adding in a nice spire at the top. Oh, go on then, we'll give it a go. Do we want to have like a nice little peep out rim rather similar to up there? I mean, I don't know that we've got a great deal of space to do that, but I could always give it a go, right? Yeah. Here we go. A nice, simple spire. Not quite as extravagant as this one in the corner here, but I still think this will do the job nicely. I mean, yeah, it looks better with the tower on, definitely, but it almost feels like the tower isn't tall enough. Not compared to that one. That one looks a bit more proportionally correct, doesn't it? Alrighty, trying this again with a new tower. How are we feeling about this version? I think the first thing I need to do is maybe stretch this to go down to the floor. Feel like that would make more structural sense. And then, I mean, I don't know, diagonal entrances out to the little peep out points. Ah, we can't really see out of the peep out points though. Well, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't really factor that in, did I? Maybe I need to raise this up a block or something. Okay, then maybe we could have ourselves some little bits like that. Yeah, that actually works quite nicely. The big issue now, though, is I'm pretty sure this is classed as an area where an Iron Golem can spawn in. So, what are we going to do about that, do we think? Maybe some stairs lining the outside or something? That could actually work. Something like this. Ah. You seeing what I'm putting down here? We might actually have something that works quite well. All right, so for the final time, hopefully, we check this thing out from afar. Oh, yeah, that's way better. Proportionally speaking, that looks way, way, way better. Dude, that's such a cool-looking tower. Wow, that was a really close lightning strike. What the... Dude, I think we might need to go to sleep. Begone, foul thunder. I do not want any of your nonsense burning down my mansion home, okay? There we are. Ain't no more storms around here. Oh, look at that view. Hey! That looks really, really cool. So then, my friends, just two things left to do. Number one is to stretch the support down to the very bottom of the ocean here and replace these bits of sand with glass. That might take a little bit, but thankfully we've got quite a lot of glass. And then, of course, we need to get ourselves a zombie back in at the iron farm area. Hey, there we go. One zombie. All right, rid that minecart, rid the rails, and now we should be able to get away with F3B. Rid the minecart. I can't reach it. Ah. Okay, right. What if I do that? Aha! Try it now, sunshine. It's not going to work, is it, buddy? No way. Right, and now we hope for the best. And now I realise I completely forgot to factor in the daylight detectors on the iron farm itself. Ah. Yeah, that's quite bad, actually. So the zombie, I believe, would be on... Is it this row here? Or this row over here? Oh, yeah, there's the daylight detectors. Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, hey! Apparently an Iron Golem spawned in, so not all is lost. Right. In which case, maybe we'll be fine to just leave this thing as it is and just accept the fact that this thing will no longer be running 24/7. But then again, does that really matter? Like, once we have the second one of these set up, we'll have double raids. And we'll probably wind up with more iron than we'll ever know what to do with, right? So maybe we'll be okay. So, just two things left to do. Get a nice, simple floor in here, since this is now a completed building. There we are. And now to get all of the glass blocks placed down. There we are. Glass wall placed down. Nice and easy like. And now it's time to have some fun. It should be, I believe, 8 blocks wide. We'll be able to do this thing. So, 1, 2... Okay, that's a good start. All right, 3 to each side. And then that should be it. Oh, dude, this is like a grand reveal, isn't it? Oh, I'm loving this. That actually looks really, really good. I love that we have just a massive window out into the ocean. We can see all the ocean wildlife at a distance there. You can see some salmon. So there we have it. We've dressed up our iron farm with a nice skyscraper build. And I'll tell you something, I think it looks really quite good. So, just one final thing to do before we wrap up today's episode. We've actually had another absolute legend in the community who went for a top tier membership. Red Panda, thank you so much for becoming a top tier member there, buddy. There you go. You are the other parrot. Thank you so much for going above and beyond with your support. And talking of support, thank you very much to all of you folks for watching today's video. If you have enjoyed today's episode, do consider hitting that like button beneath the video. And if you don't want to miss out on my future Minecraft content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But for now, if you guys do want some more Minecraft content to watch from this world, the series playlist will be on screen. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.